Hey, Joseph here. I hope you're doing well. Now, this episode is going to be profound and vital if you not only listen, but you apply today. It's a good long one. I suggest having a notepad, write down your thoughts, and make the plan for this. This is special, this is unique, and you will learn so much. So go ahead and listen to this. I created this, not through this quality mic this time, but the value and the quality of what you really get as an epiphany is going to be epic. So pay attention, because when you do, you're going to really get this. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 332, or if you're a Mind Mastery member, this is episode 408. I hope you're doing really well today. You probably know me by now. What I really do is my main hobbies, my main passions are to completely and easily let go of anxiety, and to let go of depression, let go of low self-esteem, and to really get the confidence, the true inner power, the personal performance to be able to transcend your life. And by life, I mean your health, your wealth, your relationships, your career, every area of your life. People don't really realize how much their issues have an impact on their life. More often than not, we see on the surface level because that's what we're experiencing in this present moment. Like, we experience that deep anxiety in our chest, our stomach, or that berating and belittling self-talk in that moment. So we're really clouded by the symptoms that we experience in that present moment. Now, sometimes it'll be with you for hours, like days and weeks and months, and probably even years. Sometimes it is just triggered by a certain situation. Maybe it's your boss triggers you. Maybe it's your wife, your husband. Maybe it's social situations. And those external triggers cause you to feel a certain way. Now, what I really find interesting about human psychology is that we are responding to the external world. We're responding to the events, the situations. Whether you have a fear or phobia, that thing causes you to feel a certain way. And like I said, in any situation, you are triggered by something. We hear all the time that people are triggered by something, or it caused them to feel a certain way. And in that present moment, you're aware of your experience, the self-talk, the fear, the worry, the feeling of pressure on your neck, your shoulders, because we know also, right, that when you have an ill mind, or a conflicted mind, or you have emotional wounds of the past, it causes your physiology to be also conflicted, to feel that lack of ease in your body. So if you're feeling pain, if you're feeling like this physical stress, maybe it's your neck, your back, your wrist, we can also tell that our mind is not always in the best place. Think about it. If you are stressed by a situation, the trigger is a situation, and it causes you to physiologically, through your physiology, to feel that stress too. The mind and body is completely interconnected. So what do I mean by that? If we just loop it back to the beginning, we are really blocking out opportunity. You are seeing the world through a distorted lens, and is distorted by the deep issues that you experience. Not just because of the triggers, not because of the symptoms you experience, but something hidden, something unconscious, which we rarely ever begin to even consider. More often than not, we kind of just work on the symptom, we work on what we're experiencing on, but that is never where you ever experience the peace that you've been craving. And because we are distorted, you will not see the future opportunities. You will not see the goodness in your life and the good things coming your way because we are projecting the negativity. We are projecting the worry and the doubt into our future. And I've talked about this many, many times, that our past negative thinking causes our future-based negative thinking as well as our present moment negative thinking. You see, the past has brought you here, but it does not have to dictate how you feel now. It does not mean we have to be triggered by the external world. Sometimes people get triggered by money, right? So some things that I do are more expensive than others. Now you could invest all your time and really dedicate yourself to each and every one of the over 300, I've got more than that. If you add up YouTube and the podcast, you could dedicate hundreds of hours into your personal development and make big, deep leaps at an unconscious level. And of course, you can use the Hypnosis app, so you can listen to the hypnosis tracks, and obviously those are more microtransactions, or you can escalate your investment in yourself to maybe work with me on a one-to-one level, or on a retreat, which I run, or mind mastery, as you know. But people get triggered even by things like money. They think that it's too expensive. They think that it's something which they shouldn't have to pay money for. And people worry about that. And I used to worry about money often. You see, I struggled to value myself. But what I realized, and notice this, when you do not value yourself, you will not value the results that you get either. In fact, your results will be dictated by the value you put on the thing that you're using. For example, someone could listen to, say, one of my podcast episodes, and of course, if they're not committed to it, they're just lazily listening to it, how much commitment is there? Despite it being free, how much commitment is there when we are just listening lazily, rather really focusing on each and every word, each insight to really sink deeply into your unconscious mind? The contrast is huge. You can make a change with 1 second. One insight could transform your life. But if you miss that because you're just not paying attention, you will not see the value of that insight. So I want you to consider that our present emotional experience, our triggers, our distorted view of the world, because we see it subjectively, will cause you to see if investing in yourself is good or bad, if losing weight is something that you want to do or not do. Is your present experience of getting comfort from the foods or the drugs or the alcohol better than the long-term investment of making a new decision? You see, there are opportunities all around you in this moment. Like at any given moment, you could see a profound coach. Like if they know what they're doing, you could just phone up someone and see them maybe in the next week, depending how their wait list is. If they're really good, there usually is a wait list. Or you could make a decision to choose the green juice over the Coke. There are so many opportunities around us, and I've noticed, and you see, I work with very, very successful people, like crazy successful people, whether they're in the movie industry, whether they're in a professional athlete, whether they're, something I really work with are very, very successful entrepreneurs. I just love the commitment they have behind making a service available to the public, which solves solutions. That's what I do. I like to solve solutions. And that's why they call upon me to solve their issue, right? Now, I've studied them. And that's a great opportunity. I've understood how someone can become successful, whatever that is in. Whether it be successful in relationships, successful in losing weight, successful in making money, successful in breaking into the movie scene or as an athlete, all those things, I've noticed the difference between what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. So the beauty is I get to understand everything that they're doing right, okay? So I'm not going to go into what they're doing wrong, because this episode is for you to consider that, look, there are people out there who are just like you. They may have even gone through worse experiences as you. I've worked with crazy successful people who have gone through horrendous pasts. They've gone through those emotional wounds, but despite that, they overcame and became wealthy, famous, successful, or had the perfect, loving soulmate. They've experienced the health, all those things, despite what they went through. Now, what is interesting is the value that they put on the commitment to change, no matter what it is. If they're experiencing anxiety about an upcoming movie, they understand that the value behind letting go of that issue is critical. It is vital to their progression. Think about it. If you are not growing, if you're not expanding your consciousness to more of a fulfillment life, where you begin to experience life the way it was meant to be, and I believe life is meant to be good. This is a belief system. I am a positive person, despite what I personally went through. I realized the value in myself. And it came from realizing that I had to make the decision myself, and I needed someone or something to educate me to get to where I wanted to be. Because we can all want change, but if we're not willing to apply or invest or commit through time to be able to make that change, we will remain stuck. Now, stuck in that stressful state, stuck in that depression, stuck in the low self-esteem, stuck in the blushing, stuck in the anxiety, stuck in debt, stuck in bad relationships, is not really stuck. That is expanding too. So we can go into that expansion, into the most immense, powerful feelings that you can ever summon up, or you will begin to continue to expand in the stress, into the issue. Because the more that you act out that thought form of worry, the more you begin to berate yourself, the more that you experience that deep fear, or worry about yourselves, or that judgment about others or yourself, that just more cements that situation, which really means it expands the need for it to stay there. It expands and ingrains in itself. So really, we're never really stuck in an issue. We're either going into it deeper or we're moving out of it. And I've realized when I work with the most successful people, I mean, some people, when it comes to money, have do like $4 million a month, which kind of blows my mind. Even like, it blows my mind, right? And it might blow your mind. Unless, obviously, you're one of my clients who do that and listen to this right now. And that might blow your mind as well, but you realize the service and investment in yourself. Whether it be working with film directors, there's one person I've worked with who is crazy successful, has made a huge impact in many, many lives, and it is transformational to see the opportunities that they have because of that commitment to do something. You see, they realize the value. The successful people, and this is why I'm saying, because I want you to be successful. I want you to experience the health or wealth or relationship or love or career or whatever it is for you. Whether it's just the ability to socialize with someone, like to go into public and socialize and feel confident. I want that for you. And that is why I'm speaking about this. Like, consider that value. Consider what it takes for someone to make a change. Is it lazily listening to something? Is it just reading a book? Is it just wishful thinking? Because the reality is, we know it's not. You see, you can lie to other people. And I say this as I hope you believe as a friend. Like when I speak to you, I really try to speak to you personally. I say this as a friend because I want you to transform. I want you to experience something deeper. Because I've been there. I went through the stress, I went through the struggle, I went through the worry, and I hated it. And you can lie to others. I mean, you could send me an email and say, Joseph, I've been listening to every one of your episodes. I listen to it on the way to work on my commute and nothing has happened. Maybe a little bit, I feel good, but nothing's happened. I tried everything. I've tried medication. I've done all these things. I've spent thousands of dollars or time and all those things. But if you haven't been committed to that, if you didn't really put in the effort to as much as a person who wrote that book, created that podcast, the therapist you're working with, or into something like mind mastery or a retreat or whatever it is, right? If you're not putting the intensity in your mission, you cannot lie to yourself. You cannot lie to the amount of effort that you put in. You can try to deceive yourself. I mean, you can try it, right? You can say, well, I try to eat well today, but things got stressful. But we know deep down, if we're doing it the right way, because you will feel a sense of flow if you're doing it well. If you're experiencing the struggle, or if you're experiencing a low intensity, you see, I want high intensity and high flow states. You see, many people try to transform by swimming upstream. Like they try to struggle and struggle. They go forward, they go backwards, they get tired, they go forwards, they get backwards. And all the loop continues and continues and continues. But those who are successful, and you'll know this in the times that you've been successful, is when you put the intensity in. You've put the effort in because you've got to take action. I mean, you've got to do that, right? We know we cannot just do wishful thinking. You've got to apply yourself. Dedicate your time, whether it be for an hour or two a day. Like some people are so committed that they find time. They really expand that quality time. Like I do that personally myself. If I'm running, I'm learning. If I'm before bed, I'm learning. As I'm cooking, when I'm making my food, I'm learning something. Like I would probably say I invest at the very least 1 hour a day. Most probably 2 hours a day. Whether it be just lazy listening, but still consciously applying it, or intently and intensely focusing on learning. Like really making notes, really understanding and actualizing rather just listening. When we do that, when you do that, your life will never be the same again. You might need to find a tool, a process, a system that works for you. But you have to put the immense value on your desire. And then with that intensity and that flow state where you just feel the ease in the epiphanies that you experience, rather going upstream, you are flowing down the stream. You're going through life with that intensity, but you're moving forward in a way which makes you feel congruent and aligned. So I want you to consider the amount of time and the amount of effort, even the money, right? There is no, let me put it this way, you are listening to this for a device. Guaranteed, right? You're listening to this for a device. Probably like an Android or an iPhone or a computer, an iPad, and so on. Now, you invested money in that system of listening. So you did that. You invested that money. And in the same way as you invest in that money in the system of listening to this audio, in the things, like even to have that thing, sometimes you might be paying a monthly plan to be able to speak to people and have internet access. Or you're investing money maybe in a Starbucks coffee. If you, say, have 2 Starbucks coffees a week, or a meal out a week, or a takeaway a week, or takeout, wherever part of the world you're in. Those kind of behaviors where you are expending money on something, and if it's not yielding the results that you want, you might as well use that money, because it's just energy. You've created money, right? By the input you do in your job, your work, and so on. If you use that for good, like I like to think with the money that I earn, right? I do well. I'm not gonna lie. I do well. I feel comfortable. And I feel comfortable by the money that I earn because I reinvest it either in myself or you personally. You see, each minute that I record is recorded for a system, right? It is recorded from high quality mics, mixers, computers. Then you've got the editing software, they've got the time to edit, you've got to be able to create the music licenses, you've got to be able to have this certain certificates on whether it be like apps and things or just the update of an app. I mean, updates on an app can cost probably around $2,000 to $3,000 each time at the very least. And then creating all the stuff which goes with that, the systems, the support, the paid assistant, I'm like the money generator so I can generate more help in the world. That is why we have over 300 episodes, right? And it's just me and Sarah who works for me as my assistant part-time. You see, I'm reinvesting in myself through learning, investing the money that I earn through keeping systems up for free. Now, easily, even if it will say, I don't know, like $1, right, for each episode, you already get $1, hopefully, of at least value. Like, you'd like to listen to one hypnosis track I put out for free for $1. Maybe you've listened to one hypnosis track, right? One of my free ones. How many times? 50 times, 100 times, 200 times? Maybe every night, some people say. Now, how much investment or value would you put on that? That deep sleep or that insight, that epiphany? You see, easily we could have charged for that. And I say we, it's just really me, like I said. I could easily charge for that. And it would have been $1 each, and it's been downloaded like, we're YouTube. But let's just say the podcast, which is 7 million downloads. That'd be like $7 million, right? I could easily charge for that stuff. Even if I didn't make as many, maybe 1 million or 2, maybe. But I saw the value in the investment into you by producing it for free. Now I realize that the value I put on myself, my services, allow this extension of my service to remain exactly how it is. And I feel great about that. I'm like, I want to be a wealth machine. I'm still learning. I'm still growing about that. But I want to be wealthy because there is no one who makes a difference in the world who was not wealthy. Like the people who are making profound differences are looking for cures for diseases and cancers, who are creating jobs. Let me put it this way. So I remember this story I saw online, and it was about someone seeing like a Rolls Royce. And they go, who on earth would ever charge that amount for a Rolls Royce? Say it's like, I don't know how much Rolls Royces are. Let's just say it's like $300,000, $500,000. I don't know, right? So a sizable amount. Like this person was angered. How could anyone justify the price? Like who on earth would be able to value that vehicle at say $500,000? It is evil, it is sick, it is horrible how anyone could put that price tag on that vehicle. It is greedy to be able to create something like that and value it at that. It is just ripping people off. It is causing people to spend money where they could have probably just purchased it for like 20 grand. That's how much it should be charged. It should be free for everyone or a lot lower for everyone. And then the person notices this person who's like angry about this, stressed, fearful, doubtful, living in that scarcity mindset of the sick person who said that Rolls Royces should be charged that amount, the value of it. And then this person says to the angered person, who created the Rolls Royce? And they say, well, I don't know, like a designer, an owner. Well, who produces that? Well, I guess the company plants, right? Like the machinery and things. And who else? Well, the people there, they kind of create a lot of these things like kind of custom built, like not by machines, but by people. And the person says, well, who pays those people? Well, I guess the company, right? So they're paying a portion of what they charge for the salary, for the upkeep. Does that support their family? Do they get more wealthy by being an employee of Rolls-Royce? To feed their family, to have pensions. And how do they use that money? Maybe they're using that money to put into charities. Maybe the company is doing that right as well. We don't know that. I don't know that anyway. But maybe the family, who's the salary person, is feeding their family, supporting charities maybe, like living. Now suddenly it's like, wow, the money that they're charging for the Rolls Royce, where this person has been angry and like saying everyone's really greedy that any one owner or company could charge that, is actually using that to pay people and to fund the people. Also, it is funding the government through taxes, company taxes, employee taxes. So really, yes, it might be a high value. You might not see high value in cars. I know I don't, right? But the money is being used from that sale to feed the families, for charities, taxes. Like, there's so many other things that go beneath the surface which we do not understand the real cost of, but we can get triggered once again by that. And I say that for a few reasons. One, to consider the value of something higher usually means higher quality. So with that, I want you to realize that you, my friend, are high quality. So do not play small with your investment in money or time in yourself. Be the Rolls Royce that allows you to run smoothly, to be prestige, to be able to feed families, to be wealthy, to be helping charities, to pay it forward, and to do all the great things. Realize that you must invest that value on yourself. You must consider yourself as your greatest asset, and to sell yourself in a profound way to yourself that you are worthy of change, and that you are going to change your thought form of the depression, the worries, the doubts, the triggers, and make that commitment that actually there's a better way. I'm going to start putting me as my asset. Because if you do not value a system or a service, that is fine. I get that. We don't all want the same thing. We don't all want Rolls Royces. But value yourself to make a change. Value yourself to do something in the world. Because when you become wealthy in mind, body, and spirit, through monetary wealthy, you can transform the world. You can feed people. You can be helping charities. You could be saving animals. You could be helping the homeless. You could be funding your legacy for your family in the future. Your children, their children's children. You can share your wealth any way that you see it. And it started with a mission to help yourself, to invest in your own personal development, to begin to cultivate your drive and your commitment in that flow state. Heavy inspired action in the flow to do whatever it takes to transform your life. Because you need to have two things. You need to know the science of success, which is really what I talk about. We talked about it today. And on top of that, you need to know the art of fulfillment. You see, success is a strategy. You could work with me, get the strategy, and apply it, right? It's just really that simple. The more closely you work with me, the more time you have me, I'll give you the strategy. Strategy is something that I'm great at. Like, it's not wishful thinking, it's not woo-la-la stuff. It's actually biological, it's very strategic. It's a strategy. That's all it is. Simple. We understand what you're doing, get the solution for you. And then on top of that, we know the strategy is simplistic by nature. That's where the stress is sometimes think it's more complicated than it is. That is why results, when you do it simply, my way at least, happen in whether it be 1 session, 2 sessions, or in Mind Mastery, it can be a little bit longer, but you got all the support network there. Or a retreat, just completely goes, right? But then you got the art of fulfillment. And that is where you begin to cultivate your love and peace for yourself. So the two come hand in hand, the strategy and the art of fulfillment, of experiencing more peace and love. And they are one thing. You cannot have strategy of success without the art of fulfillment. You cannot have the art of fulfillment without knowing the strategy to either get there or to apply there or to let go of the thing that you no longer need. So I want you to understand that deep within you, I know there's a part of you who is shouting out, saying, I want this and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That there's part of you, maybe having listened to it, is like fired up and going, look, Joseph, you're onto something here. I've been kind of lying to myself, lying to my others. I haven't really been putting the time in, or I haven't been investing in the money, or I've been doing it in the wrong places, investing money in Starbucks where I should be investing money in my personal development. I haven't yielded the investment in value in terms of what I want back. Because obviously, the more you invest in yourself from free to high money, right, will usually dictate your result. It's just the way it is. So you can save up, you can invest in yourself, you can begin to learn and cultivate your thoughts in the most beautiful way. And I say this not to even invest with me. Right? If you like me, right, if you value what I say, I know that you'll do that. Because you think, oh, Joe's got a solution. So I don't really mind that. You might feel a different avenue is for you. But do whatever avenue feels right for you. Because we always have two roads in life. We have the left road of staying the same and expanding more of the same. Or we go down the right road, which is making a new decision. So consider that. By now, you have to consider that we are at crossroads. And what we do now will become our legacy. And I say we, once again, it's always just me, but me and you maybe, I want you, for your legacy, not to be one of the same stress and drama. I want your legacy to be profound. I want your legacy to be one of expanding not just yourself, not just your family, but the world as we know it. You can be part of the solution or part of the problem. Part of the problem is staying the same. The solution gives you and everyone else around you the example of how they can do it too. You have to understand that you are profound in essence. That there is nothing different from you from those who have what you want, other than the commitment, the decision, and the investment. Realize that. You are no different from someone who is confident and happy, other than the strategy that you're running right now. Like, and I say that, I mean, obviously you feel different, you're in a different place, but fundamentally, there's no difference. That person had gone through worse situations, had worse problems than you. Fundamentally, I'm saying the word's all wrong. Fundamentally, you are no different. You are human. You are biological. You are spirit. The exact same. Your consciousness. The exact same. But it is channeled and molded and sculpted and cultivated by the actions that we take. So realize this deeply. That I want you to elevate your life. to have more, and to more importantly, to give more. You see, when I had my issue, it was all about me. I was on a mission to solve my issue, to finally break free of the chains of anxiety which held me back for so long, which caused me to stay up late at night, worrying about the next day, worrying about what people thought of me, worried about my health, worried about my relationships, worried about where I was heading in life. The things and the thoughts which keep you up at night, I was experiencing. The dread deep in my solar plexus. The anxiety in my stomach, the heartbeat, my chest just beating faster and faster and faster. I was on a mission to help myself. In the most wonderful, selfish way, I knew I had to change. But something curious happens. You see, once I discovered the strategy of success, and I discovered this at 18 years old, been doing this for over 15 years now, I discovered that once you discover the problem, you overcome it, and then you become a vehicle, a vessel, an example of those in your life. Whether you help someone, whether you activate your purpose and do what you love and serve others, and get rewarded magnificently for it, so you can use that to help even more people. That's the discovery. That is something we can all do. And as I fell into this, I was like, I want to be able to help as many people as possible. And I knew that I had to be able to create audios, which that means I had to I paid someone to actually, funny story, let's go off subject for a second. So I was in Liverpool in England at the time, and I get this little note in my letterbox, just through the door. And it was this: I noticed you're a hypnotherapist. Would you like to come into my studio and record hypnosis tracks? I was like, this is awesome. I've wanted to do this. But I had a different idea from this person's idea. So I ring him up and go, look, I don't want to go into your studio. I've got a different mission in mind. I want to pay you 2 days of your time. I want you to tell me the exact equipment you use. And I'm going to save up for that. I'm going to buy it. And each week I saved up and purchased the new bit of equipment that he told me that he thinks I should use. And then, once I had the equipment, I paid him the 2 days to educate me on how to record systems. We didn't have all fancy audio programs for computers and things like that back then. This is real raw stuff. In fact, I still got the machine. I still use it sometimes because it's epic. But I paid him to teach me how to use the equipment. I wanted to do it on my terms. I didn't want to book time. I wanted to be able to create any time that I wanted. And through that investment, I decided to speak my words. Created the podcast, created the app. I wanted to invest in the app. Each app, Android and iPhone, just to be created each, it's $20,000 each. So I saved up, and I knew that that vehicle would help so many people. The systems are an investment. So see yourself as that channel, that vehicle, to be your greatest investment, because you may save a life just by you solving your issue. You could help people and create a legacy. It's all within you. And that's where the crossroads lie. Stay the same. Put as much intensity as we are already. Or to expand the issue. Or instead, expand the solution. Get the strategy. Get the art of fulfillment. Help others. Invest in time. Study like you've never studied before. Apply like you've never applied before. Grow like you've never grown before. Embrace what you're about to become because you are worth it. You have everything you need on the inside. So do whatever it takes today. Because I know, through my issues, it caused me to become my greatest asset. Through my darkness, through the shadow, through the trauma, through the emotional wounds in the past, it caused me to become who I am today. And that created 7-8 million downloads, 218 countries, all for free. That created that. Then that allowed me to create better systems, which get 1,000,000 times better results from the free stuff. But it caused it in that flow state. So make the time, make the decision, do whatever it takes, but realize that you are not broken. You do not have to be triggered. You are not unfixable. You have everything you need to make the change that you want, that you've always wanted, that you've craved, and that you've been desiring. So drown out the sound of the negativity and begin to make that commitment to yourself to have the strategy of success, the art of fulfillment, and to be who you were born to be. Do not play small. Do not be weak. Do not do the things you no longer want to do or to be, to experience, to feel, to think, to believe, and instead choose something differently. Choose what is right for you. Choose the best decision that will endeavor you to really allow you to expand more of your love and your happiness, to get more, to be more, to help more. That should be your mantra. Be more, get more, help more. Excuse me. Be more, get more, help more. Be more, get more, help more. Be more, get more, help more. Over and over again, that is the cycle. When you become more, you get more. And then you can help more. But we're not helping anyone stuck. We're just being an example of what cannot be done. But be the example of what can be done. Be your power. Step into it. Own it. Get the strategy. Be who you desire. For you're worth it in every way. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Realize that you're more than anything you can ever think of. You're more love, more joy, more peace, more happiness. And if you want to join me on any one of my programs, where you get to work me, just go to josephclough.info/mindmastery. josephclough.info/mindmastery is where transformation starts, grows, finishes, and starts again to get even more. Be more, get more, help more. Speak to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.